Are you still wasting time on the same boring tasks every single day? Opening apps, copying and pasting like a robot stuck in an endless loop? Let me introduce you to the power of automation with n8n. With it, you can break free from repetitive work and start building smart workflows that run on their own. No coding required, just an intuitive visual interface that feels like playing a puzzle game. And the best part? I'll be giving you free courses on automation, so you can learn step by step how to turn your ideas into automated processes that save your time and energy.
What is n8n? Imagine you go to grocery shopping every single day. It takes up your time, and you would really like to automate this process somehow, so it just happens, freeing you up to do something else. One day, you realize that your son is now old enough to do the shopping for you, but you need to make sure that he follows every step exactly the way you want. So you decide to structure this shopping flow clearly and logically so he knows exactly what to do at each step. Then you draw it out for him like this. At 10 a.m., stop whatever you're doing and start the shopping process. First, grab the shopping list I'll leave on the fridge door. Then head to the supermarket. Once there, collect all the items from the list. If there are self-checkout machines, use them. If not, go to a human cashier. If you use self-checkout, pay with the card. If it's a human cashier, pay with cash. Once you're done, if you're running short of time, come straight home. But if you're still early, drop by and say hi to Grandpa. Then head home. Oh, and of course, let me know when you're done. This, in technical terms, is an automated workflow, and that's exactly what n8n does. It lets you visually structure any digital workflow involving apps, online services, websites, remote accounts, and more. Basically, with n8n, you can create agents that do the work for you, and the best part is that building those agents is something visual, intuitive, and actually really fun. So, in a nutshell, n8n it's a workflow automation platform, which, in other words, it's a place where you can organize a sequence of applications and actions so that they run automatically in a specific order. That's what we call workflow automation. Let me explain it with a quick, more technical example. Imagine that a visitor to your website fills out a form. A workflow will automatically trigger when the form is submitted, take that data and add it to a spreadsheet, send the user a personalized email thanking them for filling out the form, and if needed, notify you via Telegram or Slack. But it doesn't stop there. The workflow could also validate the email, enrich the data with additional info from another API, like checking their country or their social media profiles, and depending on the form response, automatically assign a label in your CRM, schedule a meeting in your calendar, or even start an automated email sequence. All of this without writing a single line of code. That's what makes n8n such a powerful tool. You can load up a series of actions and automate work processes that save you tons of time and energy. n8n isn't the only tool that does this, of course. There are others well-known platforms like Zapier, Make, or Power Automate, but n8n has one big difference. It's open source and highly customizable. So you can think of n8n as a tool that connects different apps and makes them work together automatically, no more clicking around all day. What can I do with n8n? You can automate repetitive tasks like sending emails when forms are submitted, connect different apps like Google Sheets, Notion, Slack, Airtable, Trello, CRMs, ERPs, and so much more, query external APIs, for example, retrieving data from an internal system or services like GitHub, OpenAI, or Stripe. You can transform and route data, for example, fetch records from a database, filter them, and send them via WhatsApp. Why has n8n become so popular? First, because it's visual. You can build workflows without writing code, but you can use code if you want. Also because it's powerful and flexible. You are not limited to specific integrations like with Zapier. Also because it's open source. You can install it wherever you want without paying for each automation. n8n is an essential ally for modern workflows, and that's why we're going to learn how to use it from scratch in the next lesson. Do you want to see the magic of n8n? In this lesson, you are going to experience it firsthand because we are going to demonstrate just how useful and practical this tool really is. n8n allows you to create workflows, and what you are seeing on screen it's a sample workflow that I developed just so you can see many of the things that n8n can do for us. This workflow starts essentially with a web form where users can enter their data. Imagine this form is one of your websites, or maybe you send it via email, however they access it. The point is that someone reaches the form and leaves their information. n8n, in this case, will then trigger a flow where many things happen behind the scenes. Once the user submits the form, the data will interact with many applications, some you may already know and others you might just be discovering. But what I want to show you here is that once you've configured your workflow, most of the tasks you normally perform manually will now be automated. Before we start, let me show you that everything is currently empty. We have this blank form ready for the user to fill out. It's live on the web and an imaginary end user will fill it. We have this Telegram chat that is currently empty. We have this Google Sheet that has no entries yet, just the headers waiting for the data to be received. We have this HubSpot account, which is a CRM tool used to store and manage leads. Contacts we can tag and follow up on. We have no records here yet. And we also have a clean Google Tasks account. I created a task list called n8n follow-ups, and it's of course currently empty. I am showing you all this so you can see where we are starting from. We also have a couple more things like these two empty email accounts. One is an Outlook account that hasn't received any emails yet, and the Gmail account that's also currently empty. What are we going to do? Well, we are going to activate our workflow so you can witness the magic in action. Our workflow is waiting for something. It's waiting for someone to submit the form. So let's do that. I will enter here my name and my last name. I will also provide a fake phone number, the email address that I showed you from the Outlook inbox, which is student8ncourse@outlook.com, and some simple comment like I love n8n. Now I am going to submit the form with this data and watch what happens in our workflow. Things begin to happen. You will see various nodes being triggered, one pasting data to the next, a lot of movement here, this node that it seems like still working on something, and we seem to be done. What has just happened? It happened a lot. Without us having to do anything manually, the user just filled out the form, and then we received a Telegram message saying that a new user has been registered, showing their name, email, and country. In Google Sheets, that user has also been logged into our spreadsheet. In HubSpot, the same user has been added to our lead manager. A new task has been created in Google Tasks saying follow up and the name of the user. It includes the email, the phone, and some due date for tomorrow, it seems. If we check the Outlook inbox, there is a welcome email. This is the same email address that the user entered in the form, and now they've received a message greeting them, thanking them for completing the form, and summarizing their data. In the Gmail inbox, nothing has arrived yet, but we will get to that later. The point is that the user simply submitted the form and we didn't have to do anything manually for all this to happen. Their information was validated, normalized, and various delays were triggered to enable subsequent steps. And we are not done yet, because there's still a second workflow, one scheduled to run once per day. It doesn't matter how many users submit the forms, one every day or 50. Once per day, this workflow will send an email to our team with a summary of the day's new registrations. I will manually activate that workflow right now, since it's set to run daily at 8 a.m., but by manually executing it, everything gets triggered, and now we see an email has arrived in the Gmail inbox that I prepared for that purpose. This is the email that our team will receive, with the subject line saying daily contact summary and the date. And if I open this email, it says, "Hello team," a small greeting, and then the summary information of today's registrations. So far there's only one user, but if 50 users has registered, the list would include all 50. And that's just a small taste of what n8n can do for you. It can do this and so much more with even greater detail and specialization. We will explore all this throughout this course, and in the next lessons we will start diving into its basic structure, how nodes work, how they connect, and how they are configured. And we will be building tons of workflows together that will save you so much time and energy in the future. I am sure you want to be part of the n8n world, so I will see you in the next lesson. Although it exists an installable version of n8n, in this course we are going to work with the cloud version, that is, the online version in the cloud, which is the simplest way to get started and doesn't require you to install anything or configure any servers. The first step to create your account is to go to n8n.io in your browser and then click the button Get Started for free. Clicking here will take you to the page where you can set up your account, and I'm going to enter my information, you will enter yours, and I will see you in a few seconds. Once you have finished entering your information and maybe answered a few statistical questions, you will land on your initial dashboard. Of course, this may look different by the time you take this course because cloud-based platforms constantly change their layout and design, but what matters is that you will find everything that I am showing you, maybe in different places or with different colors or styles, and if anything changes drastically, we will update these lessons. We are not going to stop now to explore all the details of this part of the platform, which is basically your home dashboard where you will find the statistic and main tools, because we want to focus for now on what really matters, learning the essentials and diving into the details later. As I was saying, this is your main dashboard. From here, you will be able to access all your workflows, although at the beginning you won't see any one of those workflows, you won't have any yet, so you'll see it just like I do, an empty dashboard. It is important to understand that in n8n, we are going to create workflows. And I will explain in a second what a workflow is, but so far I just want you to understand that a workflow is the thing that we are going to create here. And of course, the first time that you enter this dashboard, you won't have any previous projects or any previous workflows to continue working on. So how do we create our first workflow? Well, we can do it in two ways. We can go up here to create workflow, or you can use this add project button that you have here. What's the difference between a workflow and a project? The difference is that a project contains many workflows, meaning that the project is a broader category, although there can be standalone workflows that don't belong to any project, but it's always better to create a project and then create your workflows inside of it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I will click in Add Project here and I will give it a name, since I have this option to configure it here, and I will call it my first project. That's a nice name for my first project. You can name it however you like, of course. And you can also choose an icon here, which I will choose, I don't know, this little bulb, which reminds me the concept of idea. I will let it there, and that is how it will look from the outside. My project is now configured. As you can see, a project has 4 sections up here. The first one is workflows, which is from where you will be able to create new workflows or access the ones that you have already created within your project. Then you have credentials. Here is where you have the access credentials that will let you connect your project with different services. Services where you need access keys or authentication data to log in. Okay, that kind of credentials. For example, you may need credentials for Gmail, Telegram, WhatsApp, Airbnb, or any other cloud application or service that you want to integrate into your workflows. Right now, of course, we don't have any, but once we do, you will see them here. The third place here is executions. This tab simply allows you to see all records of every execution of your workflows that you made in the future. Don't worry too much about this yet. It will make much more sense once we start working on this. And finally, project settings. This is where we were a moment ago, where we not only set the name and the icon of the project, but also where you can add a project description. You can call other members to work with you in this same project. For now, it's just me, Federico Garay, and I am listed as the owner of this project. But if someday you want to work in a team, this is the section where you will add your collaborators. And further down, you will see the most dangerous zone, the most sensitive one, which is where you can delete a project. So be very careful with that. Now you know the structure of the n8n platform, and in the next lesson, we will create our first workflow.